All right, welcome into the show. Thank you guys for checking us out today. I don't know what all we're going to get into today. I know the U.S. is playing basketball right now against the Serbians. So it's kind of one of those things where the Serbians they've got good players, but they can't keep up with the U.S. So I'll be following along with that. And we've got other things. We've got some college football stuff we'll get into as well. That's right. We are one day closer to football. We got what? I mean, after this weekend, next weekend are the week zero games, right? Is that what the 4 week zero games? They like Hawaii's playing somebody. I don't remember. We'll look at the schedule too, really quick here. So let's go ahead and look at that now. Let's see here. Yeah. As we check that out, it's still ESPN hasn't even put the college football stuff on their top bar yet, which is kind of funny. So let's look at that. No, we don't want the. Oh, like, and I clicked what I thought was college football league, and it's not. It's the Canadian Football League. ESPN needs to get their shit together. Anyway, let's see here. Let's make sure I don't put the right one here. Yes, NC. There we go. Maybe I was just silly with my with the way I was putting it in there. All right, so on the 24th, those are the week zero games, and here they are. Florida State and Georgia Tech. Florida State's a 12-point favorite. That game is in Ireland. Getting all jacked up for Florida State and the nerds there. Montana State and New Mexico. Montana State's an 8.5-point dog. SMU and Nevada. That's at 8 o'clock. SMU is a 26-point favorite in their first game in ACC play, and I think that those games they're going to blow them out. Nevada is terrible. And then you've got Delaware State and Hawaii at the Clarence T.C. Ching Athletics Complex. Nick says you should come up with something for the who has the most incorrect predictions on the bookcase of accountability at the end of the season. Yeah, that could be good. By the way, the bookcase of accountability. Make sure we talk about that for a second. I'll put the link over here now so you guys can check it out. We add stuff every day, and on the bookcase of accountability, and a lot of it's because people just come up with just dumb stuff all the time. So it's sort of something to check them a little bit. No, the golden penis goes to whoever finishes last in the Pick'em challenge, which we bought a golden penis and I just haven't given it to anybody. It's over there. It's on the actual bookcase of accountability there. Actually, Rec Talk, I'm taking Georgia Tech. I think they might win that game. Yep. I think that they might win that game because I have zero confidence in Florida State. So the 12 points are well, I can't get anybody to give me their address there, Nick. If you want it, I'll send it to you. Send me your address. That's how that works. But no, that first game with I'll take Florida. I'll take Tech and the 12 points, just simply because I don't believe in Florida State at all. So I don't know if that. I'm not just saying that because you ask. I'm saying it because I think Florida State's going to be one of the more disappointing teams. So, well, it wouldn't surprise me. Some people put money on stuff like that with with on the money line. It might be a good bet. Might be a good bet. I don't know if they can. If and here's the thing too. I mean, I don't understand. First of all, why we're flying overseas to play this game. I mean, the people of Ireland, when they wake up in the morning, they think, you know what? I'd like to see Georgia Tech play Florida State. That's what I want. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand that. But yeah, those early line on that one, I would probably take Georgia Tech plus the points there. So, oh, it counts as a home game for Tech. That's sad. So y'all get screwed out of a home game. Well, see, the university doesn't get screwed. They're going to get their money regardless, but they screw you, the fan base, out of a home game. So instead of 8 Saturdays a year, you get 7. So there's that. Let's look at some of these other games really quick here. On Thursday, I haven't had any of the lines up on these yet, but the Thursday matchups on the 29th. So what, 2 weeks from 3 weeks from today, you've got Howard and Rutgers. North Carolina A&T at Wake Forest. Yeah. New Hampshire and Central Florida. Western Carolina at NC State. All right. Jackson State at Louisiana Monroe. Lafayette at Buffalo. Fordham at Bowling Green. Central Michigan at Central Connecticut at Central Michigan. I guess they're battling for the central titles there. Arkansas Pine Bluff will play Arkansas. There's a game that the Hogs will win. Duquesne at Toledo. Murray State at Mizzou. God. Here's the best game that Thursday night. North Carolina and Minnesota. North Dakota State and Colorado. Lindenwood. I don't even know where Lindenwood is. They're playing Kansas at the Children's Mercy Park. Goodness gracious. Coastal Carolina is playing Jacksonville State. Alcorn State and UAB. Southeast Louisiana and Tulane. Northwestern State and Tulsa. So many games there. Southern Utah is playing Utah. Eastern Illinois and Illinois. Sac State and San Jose State. That's your nightcap on True TV. That's what we want to watch on True TV, by God. We don't need the murder mysteries. Let's watch Sacramento State and San Jose State. And then you got Friday games. Here are the early Friday games. You got Lehigh and Army, Temple and Oklahoma, Florida Atlantic and Michigan State, Elon and Duke, Western Michigan, and Wisconsin. And then TCU and Stanford. That's probably out of all the games there, probably the best one on the Friday schedule. I don't know, man. Then everything really starts to hit on Saturday. Like your opening games on Saturday, Clemson and Georgia, Virginia Tech and Vanderbilt. Your noon slate has Penn State and West Virginia. That might be an interesting matchup. Kent State and Pittsburgh, not so much. And people are going to think I'm picking, but I'm just saying the games that I think people are looking forward to. So in the noon time slot on opening day, you've got, obviously the Clemson Georgia matchup will have national implications. After that, Penn State, West Virginia, that's a good one at noon, followed by, all right, nothing else at noon really makes sense to me. Just saying. Let's welcome Rec Talk to the program. Sir, good afternoon.
What's going on, man? I won't stay on long. I had a question for you. So I
Sure,
posed this poll on my channel.
Sure.
Who do you think is going to be the biggest disappointment? So who underperforms their expectations more than any?
Well, this is all, it's the same thing every year with me. With people want to throw out Notre Dame. Notre Dame consistently finishes in the top 15. My team it's always going to be Miami with me. Because when people show me, I got nothing for you. And for some reason, I just think Florida State's going to be hot dog water. So those two from the ACC. From the SEC, I think there's such a high expectation for Ole Miss. I don't know if they can reach it or not. Lane Kiffin's got them from being a 7-4 team to, hey, we're at that next level now. Can they get to the point where they're in the college football playoff conversation? I don't know. So maybe that would be on the other end of it. But as far as we're blown up every year with Miami's awesome, and they're not awesome. They're 7-5. And then I'll say the same thing for Florida State. Even though last year they did their thing, I don't think they have enough to continue with what they did last year. And I question the culture down there where everybody quit in the bowl game. So there's that. No problem there, Red Talk. I will in a minute, buddy. But I mean, Miami's got to be number one in my book. Now, obviously, the bookcase of accountability is different for me because I put up stuff all the time. If there are Miami fans that want to come back and hit me in the face with it, if they go 10-2, I'll be happy to take that. They have the ACC preseason player of the year and Cam Ward at quarterback. Guy's never taken a snap in the conference, but he's the preseason player of the year. So maybe there's that for them. I don't know. I think it's more fun to find teams that are like Missouri from last year, where everybody thought they were going to be the shits, and then all of a sudden they figured it out. You know, those are the more fun teams to watch. Go and find those teams. Maybe you're looking at like, I don't know, maybe an Oklahoma State. Maybe they're a team that could possibly, maneuver and win the Big 12. And we can, from the ACC, you could talk about. It seems like everybody tries to hold NC State down. What if NC State was actually playing in Charlotte for the championship? It's not that far fetched, But I mean, it could happen. It could. Let's see here from the Big Ten. Penn State's always the same to me. They don't have to play. They're not in that same division with Ohio State and Michigan, though, so they have a roundabout way to get into the Big Ten championship game. So, yeah, maybe they're the team from the Big Ten. Possibly. So, yeah, that's a great question there, Rec Talk. I don't. I like to find on both sides of it there. So, something else I found amusing today. I was looking at some Hall of Fame stuff, like the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So, the state of South Carolina has 5 members in the Pro Football Hall of Fame that played college football in the state. One of them goes to Clemson. The other 4 are from SC State. I just amused the hell out of me. Donnie Shell's one of them. Deacon Jones was another one. And I can't remember the other 2, but South Carolina State, tiny little South Carolina State, has 4 Pro Football Hall of Famers. South Carolina doesn't have any. Clemson has 1. Pretty interesting. I don't know. That's something to think about there too. Let's see here from the comment section. Penn State needs Allard to prove he's a QB1. He played very well against everybody except for Ohio State and Michigan. So there's that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was looking at that with it's kind of interesting. So when you look at, let's see here. I can't remember who the other ones were. But yeah, let's see here. I'll bring them up for you right now. So the Hall of Famers. Let's see here. Hall of Famers. Let's see here. Yeah, so you can search by college. It's kind of an interesting thing here. Hold on just a second. Let's see here. Bear with me. You can also search by high school, which I thought was kind of interesting too. All of this is on the Pro Football Hall of Fame website, profootballhof.com, which is, the official site of Canton or whatever. Where is it? Drive around, high school, college. Okay. So SC, let's see here. Yeah, so South Carolina State has 4. Here are the 4 from South Carolina State. Harry Carson, great defensive player for the Giants. Deacon Jones, Marion Motley. I have no clue who Marion Motley is, but I know who Donnie Shell is. So, yeah, that's kind of a interesting thing there when you stop and look at it with the Pro Football Hall of Fame with those guys. And, of course, you've got yeah, like there's 5 from in-state, but 4 of them are from South Carolina State. Little tiny South Carolina State has all that football royalty. And Clemson, of course, with their one player, Brian Dawkins, the big hard hitting safety for the Philadelphia Eagles. So interesting stuff there. Yeah, Harry Carson played in Orangeburg. Yep. No John Abraham. Nope. You can make an argument that Sterling Sharp should be, but he's not. So there's that. I could make an argument for Sterling Sharp. And John Abraham maybe eventually, but Sterling Sharp should be, because at one point, I mean, he was one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And, you know, should he be there? Yeah. But I also have issues with the College Football Hall of Fame because they keep nominating Levon Kirkland, friend of the program, but won't, for some reason, he doesn't make it with the voters there. And I don't know why. If you watch Levon Kirkland play, he had 3 years at Clemson where he was a top 2 or 3 linebacker in the country. So, yeah, I mean, he should definitely be in the mix. And he could also make an argument to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as well. I mean, he was an all-decade player for the Steelers in the 90s, one of the best outside linebackers, or one of the best linebackers in the whole league. Go back and watch the Super Bowl he played in, where he had like 14 tackles, a sack, and was just absurd. So, yeah, kind of funny how that stuff works out. And some of it's like who these guys they talk to writers like them, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know, man. It's silly. Anyway, but back to the college football spot here. The 3:30 matchup with Miami and Florida is going to be interesting. Miami's a 2.5-point favorite, according to this, as they play in the Swamp. Let's see here. The other 3:30 matchups that might be worthy of your time. Boise State and Georgia Southern. Okay, a couple of G5 teams there. South Carolina and Old Dominion at 4:15. South Carolina's a 21-point favorite there. Let's see here. What else we got? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go to the later games. 6 o'clock. Alabama opens up at 7. They're 31-point favorite over Western Kentucky. I mean, it's like the first week games are just kind of, the week 0 games are shitty, except for the Florida State matchup with Tech. The rest of them, they're all kind of dumb. But then the week 1 games, I mean, you've got Clemson, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas A&M at 7:30. That'll draw some eyes there. A&M is a 1-point favorite. What else we got? Kentucky and Southern Miss at 7:45. Georgia Tech's playing Georgia State. Georgia Tech's a 20.5-point favorite in that matchup. Look at the rest of these. I think we've picked the games already, but it's kind of like, really? September 1st, Southern Cal plays LSU in Las Vegas. We already did the simulation for that here, and Southern Cal won that 24-21. Go back and check out the archive on that. Boston College and Florida State wrap up on Labor Day with Florida State a 21.5-point favorite there. So, yeah, but that Florida and Miami is a 3:30 game. I'm just saying there's not like a laundry list of just great games in week 1 and week 0. I mean, there's maybe 4 or 5 that are like, man, we have to watch this, just being the regular college football fan. Week 2, let's look at that really quick since I brought this up here. Texas and Michigan at noon. That's going to determine some national championship stuff. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati at noon. I'm scrolling through here, and I don't like South Carolina, Kentucky is going to be a big deal. California and Auburn. Okay. Michigan State and Maryland. The rest of these are just, people are just playing horse shit. Baylor and Utah at 3:30. Okay. Might watch that. Middle Tennessee and Ole Miss. I say that because I think Middle Tennessee might be decent. Might be. Scrolling. Sanford and Florida. Coastal and William and Mary. Wake Forest and Virginia. It's 7:00. There are no good games to watch that night, except for Tennessee and NC State. Okay. Colorado and Nebraska. We'll have that game shoved down our throat. Everybody's in love with Coach Prime there, right? Boise State and Oregon. Okay, that's your 10:00 game. Oregon State, San Diego State at 10:30. Yeah, and Utah State and Southern Cal at 11:00. Svin says, no, it will not, Rob. Neither Texas nor Michigan are running for a title. DeBoer kicked Texas ass with less talent he had at Washington, and Georgia and Ohio State are still there. I'm just saying, as far as interest goes, all right, maybe it's one of those games that could affect one of those teams down the line. Not saying either one of them are going to win a title, but at this point, interesting to say the least with those two teams playing that early in the season. Florida State opening up with 2 conference games. If they stub their toe with Georgia Tech, man, that game with Boston College starts to look harsh, doesn't it? Bill O'Brien up there, who resurrected the Penn State program when they had those issues with Paterno and everything else. They were always competitive. I'm not saying that he's going to go and do that there. I'm just saying that they will be well coached. We know that. And they're going to go into Florida State, obviously, with a chip on their shoulder. Can you imagine Florida State if they stub their toe a little bit and they go down there in Tallahassee in game 2, and it's like, things are a little tight around here right now. A little tight. We shall see. All right, I got to mention we mentioned the book Case of Accountability. I think I want to post that here again for you, simply because some of these things are hilarious. Some of the things that people said, and let's put these right here for you. Where did I put it? Yeah, Dylan, we don't post those until the week of the games. So, like the first, what are we? So, like the first set of games. The first game is August the 24th. So you will find them posted on the, I'll post them on Facebook and on the Rob and Kale Show website. Look for those to be posted by the 20th. I generally put them up on Tuesday because the lines drop on Monday. So it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday, but we'll post the link up there. And it's pretty simple. You just fill out the Google form. Make sure you put your email address in there. And I think Jackpot mentioned this too. Whatever you want to be called by, some of you have your nice colorful names over there. If your name is Harry Smith, but you want to be called Jack Harry, then put in there, Harry Smith. We're not going to give anybody your email address or any of that. But you can just have Jack Harry there, and we'll tell you how many points you got, whatever. So it's not that hard. All right. For week 0, I don't know if he's going to have a special. All 4 of those games are worthy of the Kale Hall shitter. I mean, I could argue the matchup with Delaware State and Hawaii would probably take the cake there. Oh man. So yeah, there's that. But anyway, you fill out the form, and then I will update however many you got once the game's complete. Sometimes I do it late Saturday night. Sometimes I do it early Sunday morning, but generally I have it updated before we do our show on Sunday night so everybody knows where their standings are, okay? Sven says he's in Dublin for Tech. Okay, well, good for you, sir. Good for you. Taking the time to go to Dublin to watch a game. I just wouldn't think the people in Ireland would care, but I guess they do. There's a market for it, I guess. All right. So anyway, the bookcase of accountability, I put that over there. You can see some of the stuff there, including what was it last night? We're in the place to compete for a national title. USC Junior can only get to the Myrtle Beach Bowl. So there's two things there. Johnny Apple was saying that Tennessee can compete for the national title and that South Carolina is going to the Myrtle Beach Bowl. I don't see that happening on either side. Someone said that the tree is going to beat Dabo. Yeah, that's not happening either. Motivated, dedicated with a good one. FSU loses to Georgia Tech by 3 points. So yeah, you got all that over there, the bookcase of accountability, which we will keep open throughout the season. All right, and then finally, the last thing I want to mention today is the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. If you want to go and check that out, you just simply go to the link that I'm going to post over here for you. And with the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge, it's very simple. We've talked about it. We made it easy. There you go. There's the link. Sign up now and get involved. It's one of the cool things we do throughout the season. My wife picks in this thing, and it's like I have like this burden of I have to beat the wife because if not, I'll never hear the end of it. Because she picks the games by she doesn't really watch football, so she's just kind of guessing. So she beats me. It's like her throwing darts at a dartboard, and I'll never hear the end of it. So I have to make sure I finish ahead of her. Other than that, it's silly to say the least. Anyway, you can follow along too with that because we update the leaderboard every week, so it should be fun. By the way, shout out to the people who are sending me messages about when I win the contest. How will you send me the winnings? How about I win the contest first? How about win the contest first? All right. Well, once again, thank you guys for checking out the show today. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later on.